It's my pleasure to welcome everyone to an ISSA show sneak peek. And John Brower is here with us to talk about his presentation coming up in Las Vegas. John, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Jeff, great to be here, and I'm very much looking forward to the conference.
Your presentation is an interesting one. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into what you're going to share at ISSA show.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I appreciate that. I'm one of the founders, co-founders, and principals at a talent optimization consultancy called Real Good Ventures. And essentially what we do is we go in to organizations and help them optimize job fit, manager fit, team fit. We just happen to do it through objective analytics and data. Bottom line, though, is really captured in our mission is that we want to help people find meaning and fulfillment in their work. We just happen to do it through science.
Your presentation at ISSA show is Reinventing the Manager, Lessons from the Bossholes. That's a interesting name. And in fact, in your email to me when we set up this interview, in your tagline, says you're a boss hole prevention specialist. I don't know what to say, John, but tell us about your presentation. It's unique. We'd like to know what you're going to talk about.
Absolutely, Jeff. Happy to do that. Well, management practices and principles have been around for, documented at almost a century. And we've put managers and supervisors in awkward positions, maybe even using some very antiquated and outdated practices. Well, we trademarked the word boss hole and created a podcast called the Boss Hole Chronicles. Not to be mean, and again, the word boss hole sort of defines itself. It doesn't really require a lot of definition. But the idea is, how do we help managers and supervisors stay out of the boss hole zone? And what we realized is that we need to reinvent the role of the manager. We need to rethink and recalibrate what managers do. And in an old command and control model with which we are very familiar, you get managers that are, punitive, and they are coercive, and it's all about, watching you do your work and just guiding that and overseeing it. And we think there's a whole lot more to management than that. And as a matter of fact, managers today, and actually all good managers, they've always taken an approach of developing and coaching and growing their people. And that's what a manager needs to be. And we think a lot of organizations have the opportunity to reinvent the manager and help managers and supervisors stay out of the boss hole zone. And let me just give you this one caveat. Nobody is born to be a boss hole. We actually have t-shirts that say that, but nobody is born to be a boss hole. We just believe that circumstances present themselves that sort of force managers and supervisors into the boss hole zone, and we want to help get them out.
Sounds good to me. Now, for those attending your session, can you talk about some of the biggest company mismanagement blunders that you notice that some watching right now could go, yeah, that's me. I need to go to the session.
Yep, absolutely. And I think a lot of people, these will resonate with a lot of people. For example, the easiest one, the lowest hanging fruit, is taking an individual contributor and moving them into a supervisory or a management role without, well, one, asking them if they have an interest in doing it, and two, providing coaching, guidance, and training. Because being an individual contributor and being a manager or developer of other people, totally different. Two completely different sets of expectations and skill sets. So the easiest thing to do is be very cautious and careful about how you move an individual contributor into a management position. And by the way, one of the other things, Jeff, is that a lot of organizations don't have a very robust pathway for individual contributors to grow. You've heard the old saying, and this comes from, my background is climbing the corporate ladder. Well, that is to suggest that there's only one way to get ahead and make more money and get more responsibility, and that's going to management. And we think that's a mistake. We think that's a trap. That's a boss hole trap. We think that organizations need to build out a very robust individual contributor pathway so those individual contributors can grow and develop and get more responsibility, make more money, but never necessarily have to manage another person. So we will get into some of the telltale signs, but I guarantee you there will be people in that room that'll go, "Yep, we're doing that," or I've been subject to that. And there are easy ways to fix that, but we have to break from that old command and control model and start to think about more of innovation and agility when it comes to our managers and our supervisors.
So what you're saying is everyone that comes to your session is going to learn how to avoid that whole boss hole situation.
Yes, and the one thing that we never want anybody to feel shame or dishonor if they come to the realization that it's like I'm managing people, but you know what? I don't like it. I just don't enjoy managing people, and there's no shame in that. A lot of people realize that they were placed in this role because they had no alternative. Well, maybe somebody will walk out of there realizing, you know what, I want to go back to being an individual contributor. Maybe my company will be open to that. Maybe we can start to look at a new way of how we grow our managers and select our managers. And, or they may just decide that, listen, I'm going to really step up and understand that to avoid the boss hole zone, I've got to figure out ways to be an effective manager and sort of reinvent myself. So it could happen both ways. They may realize that they don't love it, or some people may realize, no, I know there's a better way to do this, and John's going to give me some hints.
Well, John, I'm probably going to be in your session. I'm going to be hiding
Awesome.
in the very back. Hopefully. No. It sounds like a great session. And you say you have this branding on a t-shirt. I wear extra large.
Okay, you got it. I will bring some with me to the conference. I assure you.
I will see you in Vegas.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Jeff.